I'll start by saying that we still have work to do to bring down prices. But the work we have done has been historic in terms of strengthening the economy.
How do you convince Americans and voters that those prices might not go back to where they were before the pandemic?
Well, I think most Americans know that prices are not likely to fall. It's not the Fed's objective to try to push the level of prices back to where they were, but to stop them from rising so wage gains exceed price gains. I think 2024 is going to be a very good economic year. That said, there are always risks.
But no reason right now why there would be a recession this
There's
year.
no obvious reason why there would be.
Despite the strong economic data that you were talking about, we know that President Biden's handling of the economy is at a record low. What do you say to Americans who see this data but say they are just not feeling that economic strength?
Well, first I'd like to say that recent surveys suggest that picture is changing.
ABC News Ipsos poll out this week shows just 31% of Americans approve of how Biden is handling this economy, 56% disapprove. And this is interesting. Just 13% of Americans say they've gotten better financially since the president took office.
A recent poll with Ipsos found 69% of those polled do not think the president has the mental sharpness to be president. That is up from 43% in May of 2020.
Will that sentiment turn around in time for the November election?
What I'm trying to do is to help President Biden explain to the American people what his economic strategy has been.
Vice President Biden's plan, people earning over $400,000 a year would pay combined federal and state income taxes of over 62%.
A new top federal rate of 45.8%. Then you add the net investment income tax and other provisions, and you get a total top rate of 49.6%. So let's go to the state side on top of that. If you live in California, that combined rate would go to 62.6%. New Jersey would be over 60%.
This is regarding a budget proposal that the White House is due to unveil today. In the U.S., they include a 25% minimum tax on billionaires, nearly doubling the capital gains tax to 39.6%, also raising the top tax bracket for income taxes to 39.6% for incomes above $400,000.
Yeah, there are two parts to this, Tyler. One is that they're increasing that current Medicare tax from 3.8 to 5% for wage earners who earn more than $400,000 a year. The other part of it is that this would apply to business profits. Right now, if you're a partner in an S-corps, that's LLCs, that's accountants, that's lawyers, that's doctors, celebrities who use pass-throughs, they don't have to pay this Medicare tax on business profits. This, under this plan, would then have to pay the 5% under business profits. So add all that together, what does it mean? It means a new effective top tax rate of 42% versus the current 37%.
Or over 50 in some cases.
Yes, there are a lot of mom and pops who maybe wouldn't pay a large share of the overall pie, but for them it would be meaningful. If you're a small business and you earn more than $400,000 or more, every dollar above $400,000 would now be subject to that Medicare tax at a 5% rate.
At a 5% rate compared with what today?
Zero if it's business profits. So that's where it's a big,
but if I'm
big
below $400,000, if I'm a small business that has less than $400,000 in reportable income, what would my rate be then?
You just got to make sure your business never makes more than $400,000, Tyler.
Eliminating a very key tax treatment for real estate called the like-kind investment that essentially keeps real estate investments from being taxed so long as the capital gains from the first investment are rolled into a new investment. The White House says real estate is the only asset that gets this sweetheart deal.
Did I just hear you say that the Biden administration is proposing a change to how real estate tax works, where if I've got an investment property and I sell it, I can then use those proceeds to buy another real estate property without having to pay the tax? They want to change that because there's so much money tied up in real estate investment properties, counting on that tax treatment remaining as it is.
And it's a huge windfall, and it is a huge catalyst and motivation for a lot of real estate investors.
And the fact that he recognizes the burdens that face middle-class households as they try to conduct their lives, and is doing everything possible to address those concerns.
The Trump tax cuts did nothing for the middle class.
In my opinion.
I want to make it clear, I'm going to raise some taxes.